But I have been financially not doing great. I am a nurse. Even though I am a nurse and I make good money, I don't have money, which is the sad part because of the choices that I've made still currently and the choices that I've made like previously, like from a couple of years. I am in credit card debt, and it's this unhealthy cycle that I have been putting myself into, and this just relationship with money has just never been something that I was talked about. Lifestyle creep is definitely a thing, and especially when you are trying to make a brand for yourself, when you're aspiring to do something that you want to do. And content creation has been something that I've always wanted to do. Being a YouTuber has always been something I want to do. I've always just wanted to be on camera. I've always just wanted to make a name for myself, whether it be like through content creation, being a YouTuber, being an entrepreneur, like whatever it may be. I always felt like I was meant to do something other than nursing. And so I think for years I have been continuously like, going with the trends and like, buying whatever everyone else buys so that like I can post about it and like, be seen. But then I get caught up with imposter syndrome of not being enough. In order for me to become someone, I guess I was influenced by everyone else around me. So if I bought the next best thing, or if I like looked a certain way by buying these clothes, then I was gonna make an image, a brand for myself. And that turned into like so many like dumb purchases like along the way that I'm like literally paying for now. And don't get me wrong, I have been trying to get myself together when it comes to my finances, because obviously like I have money to pay my bills. I have money to like pay down the minimums on my credit cards. But a lot of the times I don't take into account like, money like for myself and money to, just enjoy life. And most of the time like I'm struggling to even do that. So I think I've reached my breaking point. Enough is enough. Like living paycheck to paycheck, living with like the credit card debt and like the afterpays and everything, like I'm done. Like I'm so done. I want to be financially free. Like I don't want to have to worry about like, if I'm gonna be able to eat. I just don't want to be in this cycle anymore, because it's like I want to travel, I want to buy a house, I want to get married, like all of these things. Like it's just like it's not possible until I take this step of paying off my debt. And not just paying off my debt, but like being financially literate and just understanding you can't always have your wants. You have to prioritize like your needs. And sometimes like I rationalize like my needs, my wants, to make them seem like their needs. And I just need to get out of this toxic like mindset. Like it sucks. And I'm not making this an excuse, but I guess like impulsivity and like shopping addiction is part of ADHD. And sometimes I hate it. Like sometimes I like get mad at myself for having this ADHD and is the reason why I'm in this situation. But at the same time, it's like I need to remember, what can I do now to just like get myself out of this hole. So the reason I'm crying on the internet is to show people that like seriously, like do not like, I understand that I'm trying to be an influencer, I'm trying to be a content creator, and that goes with like promoting products, but like literally live within your means and only buy like if you have the money for it. Stop Klarnaing, stop affirming, stop afterpaying, like stop just swiping the credit card, because like yeah, it may be fun like in the moment, but literally you will regret it if that stuff like just racks up and it's like years down the line and you're still paying for that purse that you bought like 4 years ago. life is too freaking short for us to be paying money on stuff that we bought like a couple years ago. Life is too short for us to be paying for materialistic things. Instead, we should be paying for experiences, for like adventures and whatever it may be, like for new life, like chapters. And I don't know. Buying the next best thing is not worth your mental health. Buying the next best thing is not worth the emotional and financial burden that you're going to experience if you can't pay it off right away. If you're watching this and you are also in the same boat, like, you are not alone. This stuff is hard to navigate, and not a lot of people like talk about the realness about being in credit card debt or like even student loans. Like, I don't even want to think about like the student loans that I have and like my car loan. Like, that's another thing in itself. But if you're watching this all the way through, the one thing that I can say is that if you're going into 2025 with debt, specifically credit card debt, please make a plan to like get out of it, because I know I am, because I can't do it anymore. It's not cute anymore to just put it on the credit card or like I'll do some installment payments. It's not cute anymore. You're gonna continue these habits, and it's gonna take you so much longer to, one, pay for it, but two, unlearn those habits of impulse spending.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm in $17,000 of credit card debt. Let's take a look at what I spent this month. As a reminder, I used the budgeting software app Tiller to track my purchases and transactions. And they actually reached out to me after my month of no spending to offer me an affiliate link, which I now have. So I'm going to put it in the comments. If you're interested in trying Tiller, you can use my link and I'll get a commission. You'll get a budget, kind of a win-win. Tiller does a 30-day trial period. After that, it's $79 for the whole year, which I think is kind of a bargain because it really is a great service. But also, even if you don't want to sign up for it and you just have any questions about the app and how it works, you can definitely leave them below. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this was not my best month. I spent more and I made less than last month. August is a slow month in general, and because I'm a freelancer, I did some projects that I'm not going to get paid for until September, October, so I will have more income in those months for the work I did now, which sucks. I usually try to make $2,000 a week. This month, I clearly made less than that. My income actual is at $5,384. I did, however, panic when I saw this number and took on a job this week that will pay me about $600 more. So we'll go ahead and call that $6,000 total. But I spent $6,305, meaning I'm about $300 over. Now let's look at the places I went over my budget, which, as you can see from this red, is a couple of places. I was $11 over my $100 alcohol budget, not the biggest deal in the world. I was $56 over my $200 ATM budget, $37 over my $100 auto and gas budget because gas is still a ripoff, $25 over my $50 gift budget, which is low, but it's showing me month after month that I'm sort of making gifts a priority when maybe I shouldn't right now. $8 over in personal care. That $200 was for the tattoo that I got, so that was kind of made up the entire bulk of the amount. $20 over my $200 restaurant budget, which I spent $0 on the month before, so, you know, $20 is not that bad. I also went over on some of my non-negotiable expenses, which I'm not really sure why. I think I had some fees. I know I had at least one late fee that I forgot about in here, but for the most part, like, nothing too crazy. Except for $55 over my utilities budget because I must have had my air conditioning running in the hot swamp of New York City that is August. This month I did put money into my emergency fund, tax savings, and retirement, which I didn't do in July. So again, not my best, but definitely not my worst. And just seeing it there and having to input my transactions and sort of hold myself accountable for what I'm doing is really helpful for me as I move through this budget journey. I'm also still basically in the same place I was last month with my debt because I had another bill that I wasn't even aware of. So even though I paid about $900, I'm still in that $17,000 zone. And that was September. Bye.
If you're in credit card debt, then this video is for you because we are going to have a little pep talk while I get ready for the day. Most of the women in my community are in some sort of revolving credit card debt because I'm a spending coach and I help women stop impulse shopping and overspending, which means that a lot of the women that find me are in credit card debt. And you're not alone, because listen, I used to be in credit card debt too. Very first thing that I need you to hear is that if you are in credit card debt, you are not a bad person. I'm going to say that again. If you are in credit card debt, you are not a bad person. I remember being in credit card debt and feeling like I was literally the only person on earth who had credit card debt. And I'm also going to tell you right now that you are not alone. My community is filled with women in credit card debt who are working to get out of it and pay it off, but you're not alone and there's nothing you need to be ashamed about. So I'm going to tell you some things that we're going to do and some things that we're not going to do. We are not going to spin in the shame of our past decisions. Shame is an emotion that keeps you stuck. You hide, you shrink, you disconnect when you're in shame. I always tell my clients, we are going to shift out of criticism and into two other C's. We're going to shift out of criticism into compassion and into curiosity. So first, we're going to have so much love for our past self. Even if she's made some unwise decisions that you wouldn't necessarily make again today, she had a good reason for making those choices in the moment. Even if the reason that she was overspending and going into credit card debt was because she was trying to make herself feel better, that's okay. We can still have compassion for that version of ourselves. Compassion at the foundation, we're also going to get curious. Because while we're not going to use the past as a weapon against ourselves, again, to shame ourselves and make ourselves feel bad, we are going to learn the lessons from it that we need to, that we can carry forward to do better in the future. This is where curiosity really comes in handy. So we're going to get curious. Why did I do that? What was I feeling? What was I trying to accomplish? And probably most importantly, what has this experience taught me that I want to carry forward with me? So we're not going to shame. We're not going to criticize. We're going to have compassion. We're going to be curious. We're going to learn from this. We're going to grow from this. Then what we're going to do, well, I should say what we're not going to do is we're not going to just stick our head in the sand and pretend like this credit card debt doesn't exist. You're going to face it head on. We're going to bring it out into the open. We're going to write it all down. We're going to get all the details. We are going to make an action plan to get these bad boys paid off. That action plan, that timeline, it's going to look different for every single person. It all depends on how much credit card debt we have, how much money we have to throw at the situation every single month. But we're not going to compare ourselves to what other people's journeys look like, because your race is your race. We are going to be committed to the plan because it's going to be a plan that's sustainable, where we can still live life, we can still have fun, but simultaneously we are working on making lifestyle changes that we can carry into the future so that we don't get ourselves into this situation again. Listen, I remember in the beginning of paying off my credit cards, I felt so hopeless. I just felt like I'm never going to get these paid off, and I didn't have a strong belief that I could do it. So borrow my belief if you have to, because I believe in you. I believe that you can get these suckers paid off. I believe that in the process of getting them paid off, you are going to become such a better version of yourself. I know it's cliche. I know, but it's so true. It's the journey. It's not the arrival. It's who you become along the way, not simply just trying to get to the end result of having them paid off. The girl I am today, credit card debt free, is not the girl that I was when I had $10,000 of credit card debt. I know this sounds insane to say, but I'm almost grateful for my credit card debt because the amount of growth that I had to go through to get them paid off, it's turned me into the best version of myself. Here's the first thing that we're going to do. All right. If you are someone who's in credit card debt, like I said, we got to step out of that shame, girlfriend, because it's not doing us any favors. What I want you to do is be brave, come into the comments and say hi. I want to cheer you on. I want to know who you are. I want to know your situation. I want to know how I can help you. For me, I remember one of the best things was just realizing I wasn't alone, realizing like, oh, I'm not the only one out there that has credit card debt. There are other people in my same scenario who want to create the same result as me, as getting out of it for good, paying it off, and moving on. Come say hi. Give me a follow. I have a podcast that will help you as well. It's called the Money Love Podcast. I have a training in my bio all about why you impulse shop and how to stop. That will help get the ball rolling on this process. We've got this. We are doing this. 2023 is our year. Nothing will stop us. Let's go. I love you guys.
Amelia.
$2,500. You literally maxed out my... You needed 3 pairs of shoes. Amelia, Amelia, you cannot max out my card.
Can you believe she's only 7 years old?